sounds so bad. Oh God, I don't know how to say this.
I ain't got a lot of space or energy for people. Yes, I understand I ain't above it, you my equal, but it's hard to find the words sometimes. So I sit back and enjoy my vibe.
Guys, I almost forgot. I owe you guys a whole story. I owe you guys a whole story. Those that follow me on IG answered a poll a long time ago, before I even broke my old phone, about what story that they wanted to hear. Do they want to hear about when I had a sugar daddy, or do they want to hear about the time with my crazy friend? Well, a time that I was friends with the crazy girl. Oh, I should call it. Yeah, anyway. And the sugar daddy one, I knew it. People be nosy. Rewind all the way back. What year was this? I think it was like 2017. I think, yeah, end of 2017, beginning of 2018. Yeah. So like, towards the end of 2017, I worked with somebody that worked in the mall. I had a client that worked in Buckhead Towers. I can't let you guys know what I did or what I was doing in Buckhead Towers, but I worked at Buckhead Towers, so I was at Linux a lot. And I was there for lunch once, and then I think I was gonna eat and leave. I was grabbing lunch, it doesn't matter. I was grabbing lunch, I went to the food court and I grabbed some Chick-fil-A. I was sitting there and I was eating, I was taking my time because I was on a break. And then, and I spilled Chick-fil-A sauce on my sweater. And I looked down, because you know, I'm getting sauce off of my sweater. And I look up and there's this guy, just older, middle-aged, like 40s, white guy. Salt and pepper, real clean. Like he looked clean. He was the type of guy that like always smelled good. He was just like that guy. He was like looking at me, and he mouthed, "You're really pretty," and I was just like, "Thanks." And then I like just kept wiping the stuff off my sweater and going about my business. I think I was reading something. Yeah, I had to read something. And I was reading, and then like a few minutes pass, and then I look up and he's like standing there. Not like I look up and he's standing there, like he kind of like got my attention and I look up and he was standing there. And then I was just like, you know? Yeah. And he was like, "Hey, can I have your phone number?" And I was like, he's bold. Like, that's the first thing that came in my head. I was like, he is bold. And there was a table of black girls sitting next to me too, and I'm by myself, so you know they're paying attention to the situation. And then he looks at me and I was like, "I can take yours," you know? And he was like, "Okay, cool." So then he put his number in my phone, and then I said, "Thank you. You have a good day." He's like, "Thanks, you too." And I was like, "All right, cool." I was like, I have a lot of numbers in this phone. I'm not gonna use it. You know, that's what I thought. I was like, I'm not gonna use it. And I just went about my business. I didn't see him again. And if anybody remembers, I have a business that I'm still embarking on called Red Dot. And I was around the time I was getting the patent done for it, and I was getting the app developed, because Red Dot, part of it is an app. And I was like, yo, I need funding for this. And like, for some reason, he popped up in my head. I'm like, middle-aged white man, bold enough to approach a young black girl at Linux. And I was at work, so I was yeah, I was, you know, So I was like, and I remember looking at him thinking like, this, you know, this man has money. Like, you could just tell when somebody has like real money. You could just, you can feel it. Not like, you know, a man with like diamonds and ice or whatever. You could just like, he has money. He has a good job, you know? So I thought back to him and I was like, huh. It's like, dang, did I even like know what name Like I didn't even check the contact when he put it in. Like I didn't know which name he was in my phone, you know. So I was like, ooh, let me see, right? And then I scrolled through it and I saw a name that I knew was not like a typical person in my phone. And I was like, oh yeah, that's him. There he is. For the sake of the story, let's call him Lawrence. So, no, I'm not gonna call him Lawrence. Let's call him Scott. No, that's my acting coach. Okay, I love you, Scott. This is taking more time than it needs to. Let's call him Mr. White. So Mr. White, so then I text him, right? And I was just like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but we met at Linux. I actually got straight to the point. I was like, I have a business and da-da-da-da-da, and it seems like you might have money. What's up? I need investors, you know? And he was like, sure, I'm willing to talk when I'm back in Atlanta, because he didn't stay out here. He's like, when I'm back in Atlanta, we can possibly go to dinner and chop it up and see, you know, what we could work out. And I was like, well, first off, I'm going to let you know right now, I'm not that, you know? We're not, this is not that. No, I'm not a prostitute, but it's not a prostitution. If it's a gold digging situation, I don't know. But yeah, I was like, I can't smash for money. Like I can't do it. It's just not me. And he like was like, yeah, no, just we'll do dinner when I have the time. And I was like, all right, cool, we'll do dinner. A few weeks passed. We go to dinner. We go to this place in Buckhead called The Tavern in Phipps Plaza, and it's not that good. But it was really like the type of people that were in there were all like business. Some of them, like, you look like they just came out of the office and they went to go have dinner and grab some drinks with the colleagues, you know, that type of people. And that was the first time I was around such like you could just tell that this is just normal to them. You know, I feel like I'm around a lot of like up and coming business aspect people, like, so when they splurge, it's like a thing, we're splurging, you know. But it seems like the people that I was around with him were like, this is a splurge, but I'm also here in my sweats, and this is just a normal every day-to-day thing. It was like you could see the I'm gaining my wealth, and I have generational wealth, the difference within that world, and I really saw the difference within that world, and it was kind of cool to see. But yeah, so we chopped it up. He was definitely more so into like the relationship aspect, and I was more like a relationship for money. It sounds so bad, but like he wasn't going to like, oh yeah, I'll invest in your business and this will be our means or whatever. But he was really open about it. He was like, yo, if you could just, you know, hang out with me while I'm here, when I'm in Atlanta, and I'll take care of you. You know, whatever you need, I got it. It's cool. And I was just like, let's see, you know? But so it turned into me just having to be available when he was back in town type thing. I don't even know how I'm like telling the story. I'm really just like reminiscing back with you guys, and there's no story form. I need to write my outline. Oh, met at Linux, I text, we grabbed dinner. Gosh, there's no storyline here. Yeah, so I turned into me just hanging out with him whenever he was in town, and you know, he would send me money. I had to learn that if you receive chunks of money, actively work on saving it, and I definitely did not save nearly as much as I could have. But yeah, no, so it turned into me just having an older white male friend that would come into town and hang out and take me to go eat Thai food and try escargot. And what else did we do? He bought me a bunch of outfits. He bought me a bunch of clothes. And oh my gosh, he got off so easy. We were in Lenox Mall and he was like, where do you want to go? My ass said Forever 21. You know, I wasn't used to spending other people's money. And, you know, that's not something I wanted to get used to. I'm not gonna be like, oh, let me just ball out on someone else's dime, you know? But Forever 21, like, he got off so easy, okay? It was fun, though. It was fun. It was fun. But yeah, so, but the reason why it was fun and the reason why it was cool and the reason why I was even able to do it was because of the type of person that he was. Like, he was actually genuinely sweet. I'm not gonna lie, there were times that he would just call and want to rant about some privileged issue of his, you know? And I was just like, this is some privilege, you know? Like, the things you're complaining about and your perception that you have of the situation is coming from a very sheltered place, you know? But whenever I would have to check him on certain things or just like bring certain things to his attention, he was receptive to it. And he was much so respectful of my boundaries. Like, there were certain times I was like, ooh, oh, yo, we were at, we were at this hotel. Ritz-Carlton. We were at the Ritz. And, so, first of all, amazing hotel. Amazing. Like, I remember I was walking out because we were going to go get some food. And I was walking out and the doors just open in front of me. And then the doormen were so nice. They smiled and, like, they recognized that was very new for me. I was like, oh my gosh. So, yeah, we were at the Ritz. And, I was coming in and he was coming down to meet me because it was his room. We weren't at the Ritz because, you know, he lived in town and no. We were at the Ritz-Carlton because that's where he was staying for work. That's where his job placed him. And I was coming to meet him so we can go eat. And so I come in and I'm looking for him. And he comes down and he's that personality. He's just fun. He's a guy that's gonna be seen, you know. He's gonna crack jokes. He's just charismatic. And so he comes down, he's like, oh my gosh, you look beautiful. Da, da, da. I was like, thank you. So we're going back up to his room so he can get ready or whatever. So we're going back up to his room and we get on the elevator. And I think we're on like the 19th floor. And there was a young black couple in the elevator with us, and then they were like, hey, and they were talking to him because I'm like, this guy is charismatic. He's ran into them at some other point in time, and they're seeing him again, and they're like, hey, and he's like, hey, so I couldn't find my room, but I found something better. And he grabbed my hand, and he was like, he grabbed my hand, and I was just like, they definitely think I'm a prostitute. I wasn't wearing like prostitute clothes or anything, but well, not prostitute. They think I'm like an escort, you know what I'm saying? Because I had like my green dress on. If those that know the green dress know the green dress. Most of you don't know the green dress, but I had this like green bodycon dress and I had like some flat sandals or something. And it was just very simple. It was very simple, but I'm like a young black woman with an older white male, and he said that he found something better coming up from like the street. I was just like, I don't know if that's what they were thinking, but I think that's definitely what they were thinking. And I just wanted to be like, oh, I'm not a sugar baby, but I was a sugar baby-ish. Am I a sugar? I don't know. It's not what it looks like. I don't even know what it is. But like, they were like my age, and I'm not even gonna lie. Like, we got looks from like older white people or older black people, and basically everyone, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a young, attractive woman with an older, attractive male, white male, that I said looks like he has money. Like, so people stared, but I'm not gonna lie. The opinions of like my age, black people my age, like that's the ones I was kind of like, ugh, like I want to be like that, you know, we're not. Because when other people outside of that age group, outside of my age group, I really didn't like the opinions. Didn't, yeah, I don't care. You know, I don't care. But then when it was like people my age range, I was just kind of like, oh, I want them to know that I'm in power here. But I just didn't want them to possibly think that I was like belittling myself into something that, you know, only valued money. Anyway, so that's that part. Yeah, so I had to tell him, like, you gotta maintain my boundaries. Don't grab me. Don't hold on to me. Don't, you know, like, respect my physical boundary, you know? Like, we're cool, and I like you, and if I enact interaction in physical space, and I'm coming into your space, respect that I'm coming into your space, but don't abrasively invade my space and or grab me. And so when he grabbed me and was like, I found something better, I just felt like irritated in multiple different facets. But I forgave him because that same night he bought me a plane ticket to go see my family. So, oh well, he grabbed me. I got to see my mama. But, yeah, so I had to like tell him certain things about himself, but he was really receptive and he was really respectful and he maintained his boundary and he would listen for the most part, as much as, you know, he'd want to listen. But he was cool, and that's why I was able to maintain the relationship that we had for a few months. Like, he would even, you know, randomly text it and be like, hey, where are you at? Are you good? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm home. He's like, are you hungry? I'd be like, yeah. He's like, okay, here's some money. Order yourself something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just that type of person. He would call and vent and stuff, and I'd have to be available when he came into town and stuff like that. But it started to become more of like a genuine friendship, and I appreciated his friendship. Like, it was a really cool situation that I came out with not having any hard feelings about. And I think that's why it was such a good situation, because I came in the beginning, I mean, like, I laid out my boundary, I laid out what I'm comfortable with, I laid out what's going to happen on my side, and you can either take it or leave it. He was actually a really cool guy. Yeah, Mr. White was a really cool guy. Sometimes he'll like still, I got into a relationship, and I've been in a serious relationship going on 2 years now. So when I got into the relationship, my current relationship, I like, you know, let him know, like, all right, this was fun, this is history, this is no longer gonna be a thing. And so he would like occasionally like check in, being like, hey, are you married? And I'm like, not yet. You feel like you want to embark on, you know, possibly, that's something that we all talk about, you know, a sugar daddy, and then we're like, eh. But if you do genuinely want to embark on it, don't be afraid to lay out your boundaries. And if he makes you feel bad about your boundary, that's not the situation that you want to be in. There are really, really cool men out there that are willing to just pay to have somebody on their side, you know, pay somebody that they enjoy looking at, type of person that they feel like they didn't get other chances to be around. This maintains a certain level of self-respect, confidence, and the same thing inside of me that, you know, made sure that I pushed and enforced my boundaries, the same thing that he was willing to pay to be around. So value yourself in any way that you genuinely want to value yourself. Your boundaries are yours to make and yours to create, and anybody that doesn't want to maintain and or respect those shouldn't be in your space. This was an ideal situation, and I know that there are not a lot of people out there like Mr. White, but they are out there. And if you feel like this is something that you want to say, hey, could I do this? Would I do this? How far will I go? That's your experience to take, sweetheart. Jump, leap, find it, but maintain your safety and your comfort in the situation. All right, so that was one story. I love you guys. I hope this edit really brings clarity because right now it's a jumbled mess. Okay? I love you.